All right. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Everyone, everybody, all of you. All of you, especially you right there. Boy, I tell you what. After I bought the 4K Ultra HD Lord of the Rings trilogy box set, within the last year or so, I have gotten an actual like soundbar system with like surround speakers and stuff like that, and I was thoroughly able to enjoy the benefits of such a sound system, and also having, you know, a really, you know, fantastic, you know, 4K Ultra HD TV, and it was just amazing to be able to watch the movies as they were intended to, you know, with the lights down, full surround sound system with a big subwoofer, and good. Oh, it was amazing. If you have the means, I highly encourage you to go out, get the Ultra HD edition of the movies, get yourself a Blu-ray player, get yourself a really good TV, and a nice surround sound system, because there's just nothing like it. But with that said, you know, we like to play games around here too. So if you've seen some of my past videos where I've talked about, like, you know, emulating older games and stuff like that, and with my entertainment computer that I have in my living room, it's running Linux and everything, and I also have two emulator programs, the PCSX2 and the RPCS3, which is the PS2 and PS3 emulator programs. So when I discovered those programs, I wanted to play some of my old favorites, you know, such games as, you know, the absolute perfect games, which I really think, EA, please listen, they really need to remake the Lord of the Rings to Two Towers and the Return of the King games in with modern graphics, and, you know, update the maps a little bit, make it, I don't know, maybe a touch more open world or something like that. But I really think bringing those games up to date, I mean, you'd make so many people happy, but of course it's EA, they're gonna want, you know, all the money in the world for it if they ever consider doing it. But, you know, after playing those games, like, I could go through all the levels of both games within a couple hours, and, you know, I was getting kind of bored. I'm like, I've beaten these games, I've played these levels over and over again, they're not challenging anymore. Yes, they're still the, you know, the old favorites and everything, but I just feel it's like, I need something more. You know, there's not been a whole lot of recent Lord of the Rings games, or even Middle-earth based games. I mean, there's a very recent atrocity that we will not mention. But the most other recent games, at least that I can think of, was the Shadow games, you know, the Shadow of Mordor and the Shadow of War, which were good games and everything, but obviously they were non-canon. And of course they kind of had their own storyline, but, you know, everyone loves the movies. We want to play games based on stuff that we already know and love, and I wanted to play more games based on the movies. Now, I can't for the life of me figure out how in the world this game passed me by, but by golly it did, and I discovered it a couple years ago and never got around to actually playing it. I don't know why, but I sat down and played it on my PS3 emulator. It was probably one of the most enriching, nostalgia-driven experiences that I think I've had playing a game in a very long time. It's a lot to say such a thing, you know, but I will say that for those of you that have not played this game, I encourage you to go find it, you know, whether on the original console or on, you know, on your PC through Steam and such. But Lego Lord of the Rings, for some reason, has completely passed me by over all these years of playing Lord of the Rings games until very, very recently. It was so much fun because it literally follows the movies in Lego form. It has all the music, it has all the characters, it has all the dialogue from the actual movies. It is just an absolute treat to behold. And it has, obviously, you know, if those of you that are familiar with Lego games, it has its own Lego humor. Let's take a quick dive into Lego Lord of the Rings. Now, this game was originally released for the PS3, Xbox 360, along with PC and many other smaller devices such as the 3DS, the Wii, and the PS Vita. But I'm playing on my PS3 emulator PC running Linux, if you care to know. But as soon as you turn it on, you are graced with the soothing, atmospheric soundtrack that is the Shire theme for the menu screen. If you just let it play, you get to see some interesting little jokes and such in the background if you look closely enough. You got Gandalf pulling up to Bag End with Sam cutting the grass under the window there.
I was just cutting the grass under the window there, if you follow me.
Then you have Merry and Pippin stealing a firework and lighting it way in the background on the hill. And that's just the menu screen. One thing you will certainly appreciate with the LEGO games is that they have their own sense of humor, like I said, and lots of jokes thrown in nearly every scene. Some of those moments are merely benign and will maybe give you a little chuckle or just a half smile, while others are downright hilarious and will catch you completely off guard and make you piss yourself laughing. Once you actually start the game, you go through the prologue and actually get to fight in the Battle of the Last Alliance, and fight and destroy the big baddie himself, Sauron. Once that's done, you take a nice leisurely stroll up the Mountain of Doom, and toss the ring into the fiery pit. Obviously, we all know what happens. And if you don't know what happens and haven't seen the movies yet, then shame.
Cast it into the fire.
One thing you will notice as you go through is that they got the license to use the actual music and voices from the films, which adds to the enjoyment of the game. I mean, I've played a few other LEGO games, and most of them that are film tie-in games just have basic grunts and groans for the voices, rather than the actual lines spoken by the original actors in the film. One of the best stylized things in the game is that anytime the ring is close up, you can see Barad-dûr and Mount Doom in the gold of the ring, which is basically this shot here. I love that they added that little detail into the game. It really shows how much they care. As you transition from one scene to another, you have these beautiful watercolor type paintings of the LEGO characters that get painted as the scene loading progresses. I thought it was a really nice touch. Once you set off on your journey, you and Sam are free to wander about the Shire and smash things to bits to claim your LEGO pieces to buy stuff later. I found it kind of funny to run over to the party field where the music changes to upbeat dancing music and the hobbits are frolicking around and having a good time, and then you come in and smash all the tables and barrels to collect your LEGO pieces. As you move on, you come across Merry and Pippin as they are running from Farmer Maggot. You fall down the hill and come to your first real level, meeting and hiding from the Black Riders. This is where you get to see how fun and interesting the game will be. As you progress through the level, you will notice that as you come to certain obstacles, that will require a certain tool to either activate it or to destroy it. Each playable character has their own uses, tools, and special abilities, so you'll have to switch between characters during the levels. I found that really engaging and that it keeps you thinking as you play through. As you're going through the game, there are a few things that you will come across that you just can't access, like the shiny white or black and glowing red barriers. Those can't be destroyed unless you have the proper character with the proper weapon or tool. Most of those you won't get until you actually beat the game, which then causes you to go back and replay each level with a brand new character just to open a barricade or large box. Some situations like that I found really funny because certain barriers can only be destroyed by Sauron because of his size and strength. For example, in the Weathertop level, you are running up the side of the Weathertop from the ring wraiths, and there's this large box with a glowing orange handle that signifies only a strong character can open it. Sauron is one of them. So in that level, after I beat the game, I went back and replayed that level and selected Sauron just to open the box. So here I am running up the side of Weathertop trying to escape the ring wraiths as Sauron. All that to say that even after beating the game, there are still tons of collectibles and such to search for throughout each level and area. Now, what LEGO game would it be if it didn't have any of the classic LEGO building? You get to build all sorts of things throughout the game to either help finish a puzzle or defeat an enemy. or just to help traverse the level. What's even better about this game is that depending on how you have the game, you can either play with a friend, either sitting next to you or online. Like for me, I have this game on my Linux PC using the PS3 emulator. I get it! So it thinks it's playing the PS3 version. So I could have a friend sitting next to me playing with me, or if you happen to have the game on Steam, you can do remote play with a friend through Steam. I did try it once, and it was a touch glitchy, but it did work. Now, keep in mind that this game encompasses all 3 movies, so you don't have to go looking for all 3 games. This game has them all. One game to rule them all. As I said before, if you are kind of bored with these newer games that are nothing more than cash cows for the publishers, and are lacking all entertainment in exchange for loot boxes and game stores to make you spend more money, try looking into older games, or even what some people call retro games, such as games from the 90s and early 2000s. I have lots of fun playing some old favorites as well as enjoying some new games that I haven't played, or have even heard of for that matter. I think we need a break from these overpriced AAA title games, and go back to when games were fun and you could have endless hours of enjoyment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Where are you taking us?
Into the wild.